साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नमस्ते नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नक्षत्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण।
श्री कृष्ण।
We welcome all of you for this program. As you see here, is it big enough for everybody?
Yes.
We have 8 such courses in our SLATE training program. SLATE stands for 7 Leader Applied Training and Education. So, I will just show you that. As you see here, this is the heading. 7 Leaders Applied Training, SLATE is what it stands for. The total of 8 courses, 48 workshops. It's 2 hours per session. Approximately it takes about 3 sessions, 3 to 4 sessions in the day, each topic. So generally, I was doing it in the Pune, in that 1 month topic in about 3-4 cities. I have done many of these topics in Pune leaders. Many years I've been doing, more than 10 years I've been doing. It's a program reserved for the managers, leaders, counselors, and teachers. So the Prabhupada says here, you see, personally, I wish all the existing GBC may be trained up so perfectly that in the future, in my absence, they can manage the whole society very nicely and strongly. That's my desire. So this training program is very beautifully designed based on especially 2 books, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's the main basis from where most of the materials are drawn. So those who are preachers, leaders, managers, they wish to be successful in dealing with their own emotions and with the people who you are dealing with. Many of you are going for preaching programs. Eventually, people are going to bring their problems to you as they grow. So we have contact, then cultivate, and care, 3 levels. So contact is the easiest thing you can do. Go for distributing books, on Rath Yatra, or in train or other places you meet, come across people. You say a few words and you go your way, they go that way. That is contact. or you collect their contact card, their address and your address, you give them. How many of you feel that you take the address card and then you don't know where you lost it? Right now, it happens. So that's a contact. But cultivate means you invite them for your weekly program. Now, many of you sitting here, you are all conducting weekly classes. How many are conducting weekly classes? You conduct in some housing colony, correct? Yeah. So when you conduct a colony, then you are doing a cultivation. Just like you got a field, you got the seeds also. So seeds are like the contacts. But sowing the seed and watering it is like cultivation. And then making a fence, giving sunlight, putting some manure, ensuring that the plant is not plugged out, and also weeding out. All these things will come under care, further care. Right? So contact is only getting a seed. Cultivate is putting it and then watering it. The care demands a lot of time. So when you care, that means counseling. They enter into counseling relationship. They feel some affection for the leader and then respect and obedience for the leader. Then they are willing to become part of your inner circle. Just like Lilananda Prabhuji and his good wife, they have been preaching many years, and they cared for all of you so much that you all started feeling a part of this community very much. You can, skip so many other things for coming for the special events. Like I've seen many videos he sends me, Sharad Purnima Festival, Bhagavad Gita recitation, festival. Like that many events, special events, but they have so many theaters. So similarly, Bhagavatam distribution. So this has become like one big, large family where everybody identifies with this family and working for the common cause of fulfilling the aspirations of Srila Prabhupada. By coming together and working together unitedly, sharing the joys and sorrows and willing to make some sacrifices. I'm sure when you are all preaching and making devotees naturally, a lot of your personal comforts are sacrificed by that. So, in this way, you have to care for the people. That's what I've written here. If you want to successfully manage your own emotions and deal with the people and serve the organization with a stable mindset in the midst of storms and turbulence. So this is like 100 hours of SLATE learning program, more based on Gita, Bhagavatam and CC, mainly Bhagavatam and CC. So we have notes that we supply to you. Prabhuji will send you. I send it to him. He will always share with you. So this course 1 I am doing in another place. I am doing it in Kocharam, Singapore City. I am doing this first course there. And second course I am doing here. I think is it? No, second course I am doing in the temple. Course number 2 I am doing in the temple for the leaders. Why I am doing different courses in different places? All these courses may take several years to complete. Right now. But if I do it in different places and upload it, in case you wanted to attend another course, you couldn't be a part of it here, then you can see that. That's what I'm doing 3 courses. So first one is going on in Kocharam, Singapore City, second one is going on in Temple. The third one I'm taking for you all here. So we are on the first topic, seeking divine empowerment. We are on the first topic. So in this first topic, last time what we did was this. Quickly I will browse through the notes. I won't be explaining much now because we already completed these things. First we started with the type of powers. So what is the meaning of this heading, seeking divine empowerment? You all know the autopiloted plane, right now. The autopiloted plane, the driver is sitting, the pilot is sitting, but it is controlled from the control room. So, in what X, Y, Z axis it should take, what type of turns it should take, everything is controlled from the control room. So, in the same manner, the pure devotees of the Lord are autopiloted by the Lord. Like Prahlad Maharaj, for example. like Dhruva Maharaj. Even he was a 5-year-old boy, he can't afford to sing such Sanskrit poetry. But Lord touched his head with a shank and gave him empowerment by which he could speak shlokas, like a stream of Sanskrit verses, although he never had even Aksharabhyas also. Can you imagine a child who never went Aksharabhyas, he's reciting Sanskrit poetry. Something similar comes in Bible also. I read in Bible before. Once a group of apostles, they were sent to a place to preach. So when they reached there, they realized that the people in that locality, they speak different language. And these apostles didn't know their language, those people didn't know these people's language. So they have this Trinity concept called as Father, Son and Holy Spirit, they call it. So Father is Krishna, Son is Guru, and the Holy Spirit is Krishna consciousness. Like what we say, it's the equivalent. You understand now? Like we all have a spiritual master, and he is leading us to Krishna. And then when you follow the spiritual master's rules and regulations nicely, then the Holy Spirit descends in you, which is Krishna Bhavana. So when those people were very sincere apostles, when the Holy Spirit descended on them, suddenly they started speaking their language. And they could preach very effectively and reach out to people. So it comes in the Bible, one instance. Similarly, empowerment is something which you did not have before, but when it comes upon you, I don't know whether any of you have seen somebody who is possessed by a ghost. When a ghost possesses, the person speaks a different language which he doesn't know. Because who is speaking? Ghost is speaking to that person. And that will happen for a while. Maybe half an hour or something, and then the ghost goes off after that. So in Bible they also call it the Holy Ghost also they call it. Fire ghost. Holy Ghost they call it. Holy Ghost nothing but Krishna consciousness. When Krishna consciousness descends on you, then just like iron rod put in fire becomes fiery, red hot. So does it behave like iron or does it behave like fire? Yes. So iron rod is not fire, but iron rod can be fiery. Similarly, we have material bodies made of Panchamahabhuta and all that. We are ordinary mortals, people walking on the surface of the globe. But Guru and Krishna can electrify our bodies, spiritualize our bodies by spiritual touch, which we call as empowerment, by which some spiritual miracles can happen through us. And that is called empowerment. So now seeking divine empowerment means what? Why I'm using the word divine empowerment. There is also material empowerment also. Like how are people materially empowered? Due to the past punya. Purva janmarjita punyam, agre davati davati. Like for example, some people go to YouTube and they sing and eventually they get 10 million followers, correct now? 10 or 20 million followers they have. Some singers. Similarly, some speakers. Similarly, some dramatists. Similarly, some Bharatanatyam doing ladies also. They get millions of people following them. So now they sometimes, this Bharatanatyam dancing people, they also do modern dance also. You see that? The same channel you will find. And they will do dance of anybody. They will do Krishna dance also, Shiva Tanda also, and Bhadrakali Tanda, and also so modern dress also they wear, and they will do that Western music dance also they will do. Basically, they are dancers and they want to become popular, and they do become popular also. Some of them have 8 million, 10 million followers. So that type of empowerment is Maya's empowerment. That means people are also empowered by their past punya, some security they carry, due to which they become very popular in the world. There are millions of people. Like Michael Jackson, he came to India, some 80,000 people went to watch him. So people, empowerment, yes, that's mundane empowerment. Just as there can be divine empowerment, there is also mundane empowerment also. But we are not after mundane empowerment. Because mundane empowerment happens through our punya by Durga's 3 gunas. She is making somebody mundane empowerment, she is doing that. We want to be empowered by internal potency, she is rather than because that internal potency. That is spiritual empowerment. Therefore, we are using the word divine. Now, seeking means what? If you want to do something wonderful in this Krishna consciousness movement, many of you are starting preaching here. All of us internally, we have a desire that if I go to a housing colony and start some program, none of you will want to see it as a stagnated program or a small time program. You would like to see it grow like the Gachibowli grew right now. And what magic Lilananda and his wife they did. They were starting with the school. What school is that?
Prerna World of
World of School. I have been there also. So he started as a small group. Later on, the crowd started increasing and looking for a bigger place. And then, then he brought it to my home avatar.
Yes.
My home avatar, he brought it there. After that, my home Krishi was there.
my own Krishi.
My home Krishi brought that. What is that? Green Grace. That was also
Yes, that's probably.
Green Grace only.
Yes.
Yeah, Green Grace. That name stuck to my mind because Vrindavan is Green Grace. It's a secret name of Vrindavan. So after that, now here it has come to this place, Bhakti Center, Gachibowli here. So program is expanded over the years, and not only just the program grew in size, it multiplied into many programs in many colonies, multiple colonies also. So each of you who are preaching would also like to see your programs grow bigger right now. Bigger and with more quality and more sincere devotees thronging your program. And that gives satisfaction to not only us, it gives satisfaction to Guru and Krishna also that the movement is taking effect. More and more people are participating, good quality people are coming, sincere, serious souls are connecting. And we want both quantity and quality also. We want people to come to 16 rounds and get initiated and become second initiated and do a lot of services and help in expanding Prabhupada mission more and more. So therefore, is it all right that we seek divine empowerment from the Lord, or we tell the Lord, whatever is your will, let it happen. I don't seek anything from you. This question may also arise in us. So, why do we seek divine empowerment? We request the Lord that let me not become good for nothing. Let me be of some use to my spiritual master. He has given me shelter, initiation, and some opportunity to grow in my life. Let me not be selfish, taking care of myself. Let me do something for the world also. So you empower me in such a way that I will be some small or big instrument in your hands. But secretly, some people desire that kuch karke dikhana in their heart. I say kuch karunga, sare duniya taali bajayega. Whole world will applaud for me. So there is some secret. Actually, anything you do spiritually, it has two components: one material component and spiritual component. The spiritual component is, I simply want to be servant of Guru and Krishna. I simply want to be instrument in their hands. Whatever they will, let it happen. I can be small like a squirrel, I can be big like a man, whatever they wish. This is spiritual. The material component is, I will do something powerful. So people will come to know who I am. I am not ordinary soul, I am a special soul. I am the enlightened one who is a gift to the world. Like that, so many other thoughts may come in the mind. I have a halo around my head. And the world will gradually, it will come to be revealed who I am. This kind of foolish thoughts go on in the mind also. So that is the material component. But seeking divine empowerment means I have many limitations. I am a poor instrument. Oh Guru and Krishna, please. Although I am very poverty stricken in mind, like he says, Amito Kangar Krishna Krishna Bole Dhari Tava Pate Pate.
Amito Kangar Krishna Krishna Bole Dhari Tava Pate Pate.
Guru Other places says, Ekake Nama Nani Panavada Harinama Sankirtane. Ekake Nama Nani Panavada Harinama Sankirtane. Tume Kripa Kori Shraddha Bindu Diya Seha Krishna Nama Dhane. Tumi kripa kori Shraddha Bindu Diya Seha Krishna Nama Dhane. He's saying, I am not able to chant the holy name properly alone. Please have mercy upon me. By your drop of grace, I'll be able to chant a little better, more inoffensively, more purely. So we can beg spiritual strength from Guru and Vaishnavas to be able to chant better, to be able to understand the Shastras better, to be able to preach better, to be able to serve better. So our endeavor plus grace of God. Combined. Therefore it is said, run the race of life with grace of God. He said. Life is certainly a race, there's a lot of competition in this world. So, but in the race we can get tired. But if there is grace of God, then some wonderful things may happen through us. So for everything, for chanting the holy name, for rendering the services, teaching. So when we seek divine empowerment, it is our expression of our desire to God that you accept me as your own, and you accept me as your instrument, and do not neglect me, do not ignore me. I have made a little effort to come close to you, and it's a fact that I still have many whimsical plans and desires. I still have many limitations. I still am proud and not humble as a Vaishnava is supposed to be. With all my limitations, my only good quality is I don't leave the devotee association. I'm staying in the company of devotees. So this is the mode in which we are seeking divine empowerment. So we started with this. These are the topics in this first notes. Types of power and what is empowerment we explain, and then how to recognize an empowered devotee. Last time he spoke a little bit on that. And then we will try to complete this first notes today. So types of power, we're discussing about, identifying the different types of power. Physical power, some people have bodybuilders as physical power, right? Then institutional power, which means when you make an organization institution like ISKCON worldwide has tremendous power collectively. Emotional power. Now actors, actresses, singers, they have big fan following. They charm people by their qualities, by their talent, skill sets, and they emotionally drive people mad. They have power. Academic power is like you see many times they put topper, all India rank 1, all India rank 5, and all that they put their academic power. That also people have a lot of respect for such people. Scientists are respected by the educated class people. Then intuitive power. Sometimes, like in South India, there was one fellow called Ilayaraja. This fellow, suddenly at one point of time, he became extremely popular, just like Einstein. See, in 1902, 1903, Einstein was a nobody. He was only a clerk, C-class clerk. When he requested to be promoted to B-class clerk, he was chastised by his boss. You are a good for nothing, I am still keeping you, I would have thrown you out of the company, he said. And you are asking for a promotion? Shut up and just accept what we are giving you. But in 1904, in 1 year he published 4 papers. Theory of relativity, and then E equal to mc square, that was another one. So he published 4 papers in 1 year and he became genius of the century. Which means Krishna can lift somebody from ground to the sky in just 1 year, you can imagine. Similarly, Ilayaraja also was an average music director. At one point of time, suddenly, Lord gave him many tunes, ragas. He said, it's not mine. I cannot do because all these years, I have been an average man. Suddenly, how the Lord made me, he admitted that this is intuition coming from the Lord. So, the same man, Mozart, Mozart is a very famous. So, there was Shakuntala. You can write a 100-digit number, one more 100-digit number, you can immediately multiply and tell you the answer quickly. Mathematics wizard, they call that. So, like that, many examples are given. Intuitive power. Ramanujam used to write on the slate and rubber. So, those are all intuitive powers. And sacred power means power that results from bona fide spiritual systems, spiritual teachers, and prophets. As people engage in austerities and selfless service, they develop some sacred power. Then they open up themselves to inspiration from higher realms. See, the spiritual things are such that they have to descend in your heart or they have to manifest. And for that, you can prepare a ground for it. Say, for example, if you have a stinking gutter, you prepare a facility for mosquitoes to come and live. Like once in my travels, they had kept a dustbin in my room, inside the room they had kept. So my assistant was putting this, after cutting the fruits, he will put some vegetables, fruits, and all those waste, he will put in there. And the basket was slightly open. Very quickly we saw a lot of mosquitoes coming there. Because you create ambience, that type of creatures will come. Here, you do very good kirtan, worship of the Lord, and teaching Bhagavad Gita. Then people, pious living entities with that mindset will throng the place. You will see that. Open some liquor shop, arak shop somewhere, put a dim light there, put permit room or beer bar, then many fellows will come and stop at that. There are audience for that also, correct? No? You create a Tamamani ambience, Tamamani people will come. Satamani ambience, Satamani people will come like that. So, similarly, just as the ambience attracts certain type of people, creating ambience in your heart, in your mind, can attract inspiration from higher realms. Higher realms includes heavenly planets and also spiritual world also. So, for example, we are chanting Hare Krishna. By chanting, we are attracting attention of Radha and Krishna. Correct now? The more we are able to attract attention of devotees, attention of Radha and Krishna, then we start developing power by that. When directed properly, sacred power can propel them. One boy came and told me, he came for the previous Spurti camp we were holding in Pandharpur. This fellow is a team lead in one company. Very brilliant boy. In college, he was the university topper and all that. Very brilliant boy. He came recently for the camp. So I told the boys that right now all of you have heard so much knowledge. You are fit to chant 8 rounds at a stretch. So some of them are chanting 3 rounds, 4 rounds. In the morning, after my class, I told everybody sit in circles. So we are going to chant how many rounds?
8 rounds.
At a stretch. So he chanted 8 rounds at a stretch and he became so blissful. When he came back, he started 8 rounds for about a week. He said, after 8 rounds in the early morning, when I come out, when I look at these buildings, they look like Bhumi Rapanala Valyu Kamana Ahankar, ATM, Dinapa Petrishara. These are material energy. And I look at the road, all living beings are fastly moving. And these are Rajoguna. He said, Prabhuji, I became a little afraid. And I'm becoming detached very quickly. Now I will go a little bit slow. I will go back to 4 rounds now. Krishna can't too quickly realization. He was telling. So then I told him, see, you chanted so sincerely, you are attracting that type of realization now. Don't be afraid of this realization. It's good only. Lord Chaitanya's Guru, Ishwarpuri told me, my dear child, you are crying tears and God is standing on end. Ashtasakar Yuga is manifesting. Because we are calling the holy name purely. No? Shuddhanam you are calling. Naturally, Shuddhanam calling will attract that type of mercy and empowerment on you. So, when directed properly, sacred power can propel them towards transcendence and divine power. So, that is the reason why all of you also can see, Prabhupada says in Nectar of Instruction book, Krishna consciousness drags one towards ultimate success. Anybody remember reading that? In NOI, Prabhupada says that. Say, I'll show you. Exact wordings. If you want to know, you can see what Prabhupada says.
Nice.
Not right. What is the word Prabhupada says? Ragged. This is another one. You know, this is the one here. This is it. Give us the mic with you.
Devotional service is so pure and perfect that once one has begun it, one is forcefully dragged to the ultimate success. Sometimes a person will give up his ordinary material engagements and out of sentiment take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord and thus begin the preliminary execution of devotional service.
Yeah. So here Prabhupada is saying devotional is NOI 3, verse number 3 is saying about devotional is so pure and perfect that once one has begun it, one is forcibly dragged to ultimate success. So that dragging comes from Antaranga Shakti, and so Radharani's mercy on us. When she sees that somebody is chanting the holy name, she said, then she arranges for various forces to drag us to ultimate success. So a sacred power. Then divine power is the greatest of all. Greatest.
Divine power. Divine power is the greatest of all because it contains the highest adoration and appreciation for the source of all power.
Source of all power is Krishna. Yeah.
Divine power comes to those who realize that they must emulate the lives of the most advanced saints, showing mercy, tolerance, full surrender, and love for all of God's creation. Divine power manifests when we become humble enough to fully offer ourselves to God to be used like puppets. We have reached the highest level of spiritual attainment at this point when we totally surrender all personal agendas and desires.
That means we make our will one with God's will. Like Arjuna said, Karishte Vachanam, Bhaktava Mama, he said. Correct. Karishte Vachanam Tava means, may your will be accomplished. Like Muslims say, Inshallah, they say. Similarly, Christians say, Oh Lord, thy will be done, not my will.
My will be done.
And in the beginning, Arjuna was saying, Say Nemorigo, Mandiratam Stapaya. You fulfill my will. At the end, he said, Karishte Vachanam Tava. Now I surrender my will to you. I follow whose will?
Yours.
Yours. All religions say this. Christianity, Islam. So the climax point of all religion is obedience to the Supreme God. Aligning with His will. So when you get divine power, you completely align with God's will. Like, Prithu and Indra competition. Indra was insecure that Prithu will do 100 yajnas and become equal to me. He wanted to be a champion of excellence. And Lord Brahma and Vishnu told the Prithu that you don't do the 100 sacrifice. In your account, let that be only 99. Because if you do the 100th one, this world becomes insecure. So he became a champion of character. Who? So one is a champion of excellence, another one is a champion of character. So in this way, Prithu became very endearing to the Lord's heart by aligning with Lord's will. Lord told him, stop, don't do this 100th yajna, he didn't do it. Generally, when you do the yajna, Lord comes. Now Lord came because he didn't do the 100th yajna. Therefore Lord came. Why? Because he sacrificed the sacrifice. He sacrificed the sacrifice itself. Isn't it? That is Prithu's. So once Gauranga Darshan Prabhu was giving a lecture, he gave a nice heading. Many people became curious. How is 99 greater than 100? That is the heading he gave. Many people came for the seminar thinking that there is something, because they thought that 101 is greater than 100. How can there be 99 greater than 100? So he was telling 99 yajnas plus aligning with Lord's will is greater than 100 yajnas and we called as a Shatakratu, which Indra was. So therefore Indra became inferior and Prithvi became superior. And Prithvi went back to Godhead, Indra remained stuck in the material world. So aligning with this will is done by divine. So what is the difference between the sacred power and divine power? Sacred power is Sattva Guna and divine power is Vishuddha Sattva. That's the main difference. Yeah, go ahead.
Then the direct energy of the Lord can enter so that
That is internal energy, divine energy of the Lord. Yeah, direct energy. Yeah.
we begin to act in accordance with what He wants to accomplish. Our work is then done as if God is doing it Himself. In Vedic terminology, such empowered individuals are called Aveshavataras. And this divine power, known as Daiva, is considered infinitely superior to Purushakara, which is strength generated by one's own intelligence and ability.
So two words is the Purushakara and Daiva. Daiva means Lord is acting through you. And Purushakara means you have done some punya in the past by which you got some special capabilities, skill sets and everything by which you are doing. So Purushakara, if it is one count, Daiva is like 1,000 count. With Purushakara also you can do something, but that's not as great as by Daiva when Lord empowers you. Like for example, sometimes when I am in America, traveling preaching, my computer gives some problem. So I put any desk and then I connect to a number, Swati will ask me. I supply him one number. Then he will enter into my computer and do the work like a ghost. So I can see things moving in the computer, but I am not doing anything. So the empowerment is like that. Empowerment means your body, your mind, your senses are used by the Lord. Just like Sri Prabhupada went to America. So Nityananda Avesh descended on Prabhupada. Nityananda, what is Nityananda's Avesh? Nityananda is a preacher. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered him to preach. But his compassion is extreme compassion on the most fallen people like Jagai Madai, people like that. When Prabhupada went to America, he got special blessing on Nityananda. Now there are certain special things about it. His guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, established Radha Gandharvika Giridhari. By the side of him, he established Lord Chaitanya with one hand raised. You have seen that? Gaudiya Math, you will see that. Whereas when Prabhupada went to America, he established Gaurav. He said, for Indians, Gaurav Mahaprabhu is enough, but for Americans, Nityananda is required. Prabhupada said, they are too fallen. So Nityananda must be required. Because Mahaprabhu will chastise them if he sees their behavior. So Prabhupada said, let the both Gaurav come together. So he installed Nityananda also there. So, following the same mode of Nityananda, Prabhupada also went to Bhavari. Here Nityananda delivered Jagai Madai. Prabhupada delivered hundreds of Jagai Madais, being empowered by Lord Nityananda. So Nityananda acted through Prabhupada. So that is what we are talking here, that divine power descended in Prabhupada. So such a person is like driven mad actually. The way he preaches, the way he expands like a wildfire, the movement expanded to all across the globe in a very short period of time. Prior to that, when in the American libraries there are more than 600 versions of Bhagavad Gita commentaries, all catching dust and sleeping in libraries. When Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita came within 4 years, men and women started coming out in the streets wearing dhoti kurta and sari, beating mridangam, wearing tilak, and America was astonished. Americans didn't know what is this blanket around their body and what is this, tilak on their forehead, they didn't know. But Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita brought about a revolutionary change in the misguided civilization of America. That too within just 3-4 years. So Prabhupada, literally, if you see his life, only 12 years only, he preached. In 12 years, he did this magic, an explosion. And even today, you can see so many loyal disciples have written bulky books about their interaction with Prabhupada. So much they have to share, because every moment of Prabhupada in those 12 years were extraordinary. Because the divine energy has descended in him. Yeah. Aveshavataras. Yes. And then?
We must be tuned in to the Lord's mission, not only for our own personal survival, but also for the sake of all the innocent people being victimized by the destructive mindsets of the modern world. When we dedicate ourselves to serving the divine will, our capacities may expand in incredible ways.
So all of us are receivers and transmitters also. Uh, For example, you are living in a world where you are emanating some energy uh, and that is affecting the people around you. And you are also receiving some energy from others. Depending on what type of energy you are emanating, some people are emanating positive energy, right now. They speak very purely, they always wish well for others. Even the thought level also. सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous become tranquil, may the tranquil become free, may those who are free set others free. That's a prayer. So in this way, this is a very great prayer of well-wishing prayer for the welfare of all the jivas in the world. Isn't it? So this type of thought, noble thoughts, the noble speech, the noble actions, those who carry, depending on how strongly you carry these vibrations, you emanate positive energy, and you can actually dominate and influence even a negative atmosphere. For this, we need to know the zeroth law of thermodynamics. You know what is zeroth law of thermodynamics? It says if there is an object A with 800 degrees centigrade object, and if there is an object B which is minus 200 degrees centigrade, if you bring those objects and touch with each other, then the heat flows from 800 to minus 200. So the minus 200 object, that heat is increased to like 300, 400 like that. It is increased by that association. That is zeroth law says that. So what is that object with 800 degrees centigrade? That's like high potential devotee. A devotee who is carrying lot of Krishna consciousness and positive energy, remembrance of Krishna, and he can actually very easily smash Maya. Prabhupada said, why are you saying you are suffering from lust? Where is this lust? Kick him with the boots, Prabhupada said. So Prabhupada would smash all misconceptions to powder in a moment, very easily, whenever devotees took any doubts to him. So he was a very high potential devotee, carrying very high potential of Krishna consciousness, 10,000 volt electricity, like that. And then it can, that's why many number of people could hook on to him, and under his shelter, they also became very powerful. This is another important thing. When one associates with very high power devotees, then they also exhibit similar symptoms in the long run, just like magnet. If you take a magnet and brush it against the soft iron core, after you take the magnet, soft iron core, that also behaves like a magnet. But it behaves like a magnet for some time. After that it loses. But if one does in a prolonged way, then it can hold on for a long time. So association has a similar effect also. So in this way, he is saying that by tuning yourself to Lord's mission, then you also flourish in your Krishna consciousness, and you can become like an instrument. Through you, something wonderful can happen. So now what stops us from doing this? It is called the resistance offered by our false ego. And strong material attachments to which we are clinging to in our mind, and the strong bad habits to which our senses are chasing after. So these are things which don't allow us to allow the mercy to flow through us, which we call as resistance. In electricity, if any of you are from electrical background, we have 5 ohm, 10 ohm, 20 ohm, like that they say, you know that? You put like this. That means greater the resistance, lesser the flow of electricity, right now. And lesser the resistance, greater the flow. So people like Prahalad, they are called superconductor, which means zero resistance. And Hiranyakashipu is 100% resistance. He will not let any mercy flow through him, because he wants to kill the Lord, isn't it? So it's like one is Narottama, another one is Naradama. Both two extreme examples. And all of us may be somewhere in between. We have some resistance and some conduction. So by understanding the subject well and by reducing our resistance to flowing of the mercy, we can. For example, I'll let you give an example. When Prabhuji Gopal used to come to Pune, one big devotee used to come with a big broad body, very big, obese devotee, obese, so very tall and happy. So he used to come. At that time, he used to come generally. When Maharaj would come 4 5 times in a year, and he would bring a garland, which would be a Balaji garland, huge garland. When he would put it on Maharaj's neck, Maharaj said, "This is so heavy garland." From the top of the shoulder to touching the ground practically. Every time this fellow will bring that. And Maharaj would ask him, "Aise ho, theek ho kya?" He will ask him. Yes, Maharaj will say. Are you coming to temple? Maharaj would ask him. And he would say, "Yes, Maharaj, I am coming." Then Maharaj would turn to Maharaj, "Radheshyam, is he coming?" He would ask me. I would tell Maharaj, "Maharaj, he definitely comes when you come." And then Maharaj will tell him that, "You see, I appreciate this garland, but more than that, I would appreciate if you can come for weekly once to temple and chant the holy names, associate with devotees." He was working in one car company. He said, "Maharaj, I am super busy, I don't get time." But Maharaj said, "Whenever I come, you get time." Similarly, you should take out time and you should come and sit down and attend the classes. So Maharaj was trying to reduce his resistance and allow his mercy to flow through him. But that fellow is resisting, you can see that. Here also what he will do, he will put the garland and then he will carry Maharaj's bag and after the temple hall, after putting Maharaj's temple hall, Maharaj started Kirtan, he would push off. He won't attend the lecture. Maharaj will ask, "Where is that fellow?" Maharaj, he just came. So Maharaj said, "Next time he brings garland, I will hold him till the end of the class." After the building, he can put the garland. So you will see that you would always ask, because see, he is receiving a garland, so naturally he want to give something in reciprocation. But that personality should be ready to receive that mercy. Sometimes somebody is giving another example I tell you. This was Rohapar Maharaj went to one house where the mother and father of one small boy, small kid, they were offering obeisances, and this boy was just standing like this. And parents were pushing him down. Hey, the mother was picking up his leg and putting him down like this. And then the boy he was showing a lot of resistance. Somehow she made him offer obeisances. And then when he got up, then Maharaj thought that, if I give him some prasad, he will be more well behaved or whatever. So he took one cake and gave him. But that child was going behind. Because he was with mother and father, he didn't want to come forward and accept. And they were hiding behind the mother. Let her go. Maharaj giving mercy. Take the cake. Very nice, beautiful cream on the top. The cherry is giving. For him to accept. And he was doing. The mother let her put there. And then he extended his hands and she accepted along with his hands. And the kid took that and ran away after that. After that, the mother and father, they sat at Maharaj's feet and they were talking to him. And they asked Maharaj, "Maharaj, these days we both are doing job, life is becoming super busy. Both have IT jobs. So we wanted to know, can we keep the deity in a box and keep it in the bureau? And later on when life becomes a little more, lighter, you can start worshipping." And Maharaj said, "See, you wanted your son to accept the mercy. Similarly, you should be willing to accept the mercy also." That's all he said. So it's a very deep meaning it is. What is the mercy I am giving you? I have given you the deity to worship. But you want to put them in the box and keep it inside. Now, you want your son to accept the prasad from me. Similarly, you should accept the prasad that I am giving. So don't show resistance. Then they say, "Okay, we'll continue worshiping." So from this, what we understand, we all get opportunities in our life. Mercy comes and taps our door many times. But somehow we have some reluctance, some resistance to receiving that mercy. So that resistance should be increased or reduced? Reduced. Reduce the resistance and increase the flow of mercy through you. That is the point. That is important. Yeah. I read that when
presidents, kings, or other leaders speak, the idea is not for them to communicate on their own account, but rather to serve as mouthpieces for the Lord. Originally, leaders were meant to act as mediums or as connections to the higher kingdoms. The role of a spiritual teacher or guru emphasizes this connection even more. That person's duty is to act as a spiritual postman who delivers the transcendental messages to the right addresses.
See, this is a very important point. All of you, those who are becoming preachers and counselors and all, one of the things that you should contemplate upon right from now, from your early years of preaching, is that you can even record your speech and check whether you are speaking purely. How much a percentage of your presentation is purely in parampara, and how much erratic speech comes out of your mouth, or how much masala and all other stuff is coming out in the name of preaching. Because many times when we don't present purely, it doesn't impact the audience. Although many people will clap hands, you can make people cry, you can make people laugh. But at the end of the day, the measure of success of your preaching is whether people are increasing the rounds of chanting, whether people are developing faith in the holy name and faith in Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether people's commitment is increasing in terms of getting initiated and becoming a guest should become a host, then our preaching is effective. But if sometimes we are not properly representing Guru Parampara, then the good number of books, self-help type of books which have come nowadays, even in ISKCON society. Even within ISKCON itself, many have published many books now. I don't want to mention any name of any book, but there are many lightweight books have come now. Many books, hundreds of them are nowadays coming out. So we may read them, we may read such books, and we may think that let me quote some light examples for the people, so that audience can connect with me, and then later on I can give Krishna consciousness. Real Krishna consciousness we will give later. We will reserve it for the future. Now let us give something light. So, but the problem with that is what? People don't get to know the real thing that you are trying to give. What is the real thing? Like Prabhupada gave pure Krishna consciousness. So, I won't mind speaking some indirect things, maybe 1 or 2 lectures, but very soon we should bring them to the real truth. Just like our Lilananda Prabhu's course on SSR. It's a direct course, 12 sessions. He talks many truths from the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe he will make it interesting by making it interactive and making some quizzes. But the tattva only should be given. Like for example, you're giving prasad. Say you give chapati, sabji, rice, dal, and you give little chutney and maybe little frames. But imagine you have a plate only full of frames. Like a big mountain of frames, frames are very tasty. Then you will have stomach problem. And you didn't eat any rice, midnight you will be hungry. Right now? So, therefore, become a spiritual postman means faithfully deliver the goods that are coming in parampara to the people. So, one of the easiest ways I will tell you how to do this. When you take a shloka, when you take a purport, and then you try to intersperse the purport with some little explanation. And that too, I mean, read between the lines in line with Prabhupada. Like that we should learn. Like for example, I am speaking in one section of Bhagavatam, but I can quote some purports of Prabhupada from the other sections. When I am speaking there, I can quote from this side. So, quoting abundant shlokas from Gita Bhagavatam, referring to many purports of Prabhupada, referring to lectures of spiritual masters. Like Devaki Mataji, for example, she will quote a lot. She came here also.
Yes.
Yeah, she quotes a lot. You see that? She will quote from Satyendra Maharaj, Sanath Maharaj. She quotes from Prabhupada also. Anything she speaks, she puts a quote on the screen. So these are ways by which we can keep the sanctity, purity, and authenticity of what is being presented in Parampara. So who called himself Apostle Piyan of Parampara? Everybody knows? One person used to call himself, I am Apostle Piyan of Parampara. Who? Prabhupada only. That's the answer. People are wondering who is that? Prabhupada only. Prabhupada used to say, I am Apostle Piyan. Read it.
When we live for ourselves, we don't care so
Mic
much.
is not loud enough.
Keep it close.
When we live for ourselves, we don't care so much about how we affect others. But as we become more spiritually oriented, we specifically concern ourselves with what we say, what we do, why we do it, and how we do it based on how our actions affect the community. This is not overkill, obsession, or paranoia. It is perfectly appropriate because spiritual life is about eternal community and dynamic relationships with God at the center.
See, for example, what you say you are appreciating some Vrindavan Baba, for example, in your lecture. That means people will think it is all right to invite a Vrindavan Baba to your home, or it is all right to go to Vrindavan and meet some Babas. You are indirectly giving them a hint by what you say. Correct, no? Similarly, if you start telling your own pastimes that, I saw the deity, I had tears in my eyes, suddenly I felt unconscious, my hair stood on end, and things like that you say, which are Sajjaic things, then your people also, when they preach, they will also start telling such things in their lectures, and they will tell their experiences. And in this way, some hodgepodge can enter into our lecture. So what we say, that becomes a precedent for the people to whom we are preaching to. What you stress on, what you emphasize. So we should emphasize what Prabhupada has emphasized. And we should not emphasize what Prabhupada does not emphasize. For example, some preachers keep beard, mustache during the Chaturmas time. 4 months they grow that. And they also eat only once a day. And that too with what fits in one mouth only. As much you can expand your mouth, all of it, try. How much you can make it, that much only you can eat. You have to put on the plate, try both your hands like this, open as big as possible. One bite you can take once a day like that. For 4 months they eat like that all day. Chaturmas. And you have to chant daily 64 rounds. There are some ISKCON devotees doing that also. But if a leader does that, what will the audience do? Huh? Huh?
They'll follow.
They will say it's very important. Our preacher is doing. Some preachers not only do themselves, they tell their people, everyone should do. This is not what Prabhupada gave. Recently, one of my students asked me, some people are quoting Bhakti Thakur, Bhakti Thakur about Chaturmas. I said, for us, Prabhupada is important. Because who started ISKCON?
Prabhupada.
So for ISKCON devotees, the most prominent Acharya is who? Prabhupada. And for Gaudiya Math, who is the prominent Acharya? Bhakti Thakur. So they will follow Bhakti Thakur. And we have to follow what Prabhupada has told us. In Chaturmas, what Prabhupada wants us to do. Anything special? No, Prabhupada says go out and distribute books, preach, and regular practice only. Of course, in Chaturmas time we follow one month you don't take milk, another month you don't take the heat. That ISKCON follows that. That we announced also. That we follow. Otherwise, we should not emphasize things which Prabhupada has not emphasized.
Can I ask a question? Prabhuji, you brought up a very sensitive area where sometimes I hear not a contradiction but a different approach in two senior devotees. One devotee says, like example, Chaturmas has to be followed. Other devotee says, Prabhupada, no, Chaturmas is not a right example, but he says Prabhupada told that to follow like that in those circumstances in America, but he would not have told to Indians. Like that, some interpretation happens.
So that interpretation is whose interpretation? His interpretation. Do you take his interpretation seriously, or you take what Prabhupada? Because Prabhupada never left anything ambiguous. He actually told also, in his writings also. For example, if you research on what Prabhupada has said about any particular thing, he would say about one thing in multiple places. If consistently he sticks to one standard, that is the final standard.
Like recently, if you remember, I had sent a message to you about one devotee talking about on Vishnu Tattva appearance days, people can eat what do you call that, grain also. It doesn't have to be,
See,
and then
I really, for example, this one, I'll just show you on paper. Recently, this paper sent by GBC to us. So fasting on Ramanavami day. So the SAC has done thorough research. If you see, you know how many pages it is? The Vishnu Tattva appearance days and Ekadashi in general. Totally, it's how many pages it is? 25 pages. So, on Ram Navami day, what we should do, it's very detailed. They started with Mangalachana everything, and then they are given types of fasting and degrees of austerity, fast breaking versus fast completion, you know, Hari Bhakti Vilas, what it says, instruction on Ram Navami and all that. They are given everything. They have done, see what a result they have done, you see. That's the beauty of GBC. GBC has this SAC, Shastri Advisory Committee, and these are, they are all intelligentsia coming together, Abhistan, you know. So many things are given like that, and finally, they have given here, towards the end, after all this research, our recommendation for this one I read finally. I saw that they have done good research. Ultimately, what do you want? Can you read that? See here, our recommendation for, can you read this?
on Ram Navami and similar Vishnu Tattva appearance days, such as Balarama Purnima, we suggest fasting until the Lord is worshipped at the appearance time of the avatar, if known. As explained earlier in this paper, Ramachandra appeared at noon. If the appearance time is not known, fasting can be completed at noon or later, after a special worship of the Lord. The special worship can be the offering and artika, which are performed normally in that ISKCON center at that time, which worship of a particular avatara who is appearing. If that avatara is not normally on the altar,
Like Narasimha is on the altar.
yes.
Yeah.
If that avatara is not normally on the altar, the avatara can be worshipped through the main deity or a visiting deity of devotees in the area. Generally, additional or more opulent food preparations will be offered and guests will be invited to participate. Such details are at the discretion of local leaders. The type of prasadam served to complete the fasting go may be grains or anukalpa. Both the timing of completing the fast and the type of prasadam served should be based on what would most facilitate the enthusiastic participation of the local community of devotees and the maximum outreach effect regarding the general public.
Yeah, the last line clearly says you can serve proper prasadam. Because Ekadashi Prasad will not lead to enthusiastic participation of the local community devotees. Ekadashi Prasad is pretty simple, and that means the final thing they said in the Ramnami also here. See, the vow of fasting may be completed any time after worship of Lord Radheshyam at the time of his appearance at noon, and with the type of prasadam most conducive for one's service in Mahaprabhu's mission. It's not that only Ekadashi Prasad should be served. This means you can serve grain prasadam. So now this is the GBC mandate which has come to all the presidents. We got it. So now this makes it clear for us because they have done a lot of research, correct? Now, and then they are giving us. So that makes life easy for us. So we have to follow this. For me, this is final. Prabhupada said, in my absence, GBC is the ultimate managing authority. So whatever they, and GBC will not randomly say or do anything, then they know that their policies will affect the whole world. So they have a SAG, Shastri Advisory Committee, and there are students and people in that who sit together and get all the Puranic things put together. They are doing the homework for us. We should follow that. Not any Tom, Dick and Harry comes and tells you, I think this may be my interpretation. We don't follow that. You understand, no? Anybody tells you anything, you should ask. Even Zach has no authority to publish anything independent of GBC. In ISKCON, if you see, the oldest body of intelligent devotees is GBC. Because now, Prabhu Gopal Maharaj, who attended Vaikuntha now a few days ago, he has served in GBC 50 years. And he has been a sannyasi for 40 years. You know, so like that, there are many people in GBC, there are 45 people are there. And GBC has a EC also, Executive Committee, which has 3 members. So they do, I mean, Mayapur, they come for 20 days meeting in a year, plus other parts of the world, one continent, they meet for another 10 days. Yearly, they come about 30-35 days together to do this kind of things. So I would take that version as a final. Not any devotee who says, I think so, you know, it's my Prabhupada might have done just because of this, because of that. So many people may say so many things. We don't take everybody's word seriously.
Yeah. Bro, this continuation, bro. One other thing is that sometimes some seminars are conducted, say for example, DT worship seminar, right? So I experienced some confusion whereby one devotee said, like when you're offering water, so when you do it to a DT, I mean like for Radha Krishna and then go. So I did it for Krishna 3 times to the top, 7 times. Then I pour some water and then I go to Radha. Then one, I'll not quote the name, but there was big DT worship seminar done somewhere in Govardhan. My wife attended that. And they said, no, that is wrong. That is not what Prabhupada told. Prabhupada used to do all of them and finally put the water down. It might be a very simple thing. But in my house, it created raised eyebrows every time I did.
So, one thing is for me, the 80 worship standard is Janani Vasu. Whatever he says is final. Because Prabhupada Radha Swami said that. Radha Swami is most experienced in this. Any doubt we have, we can approach him, ask him also, directly also ask him. And he himself has put up a deity worship course in Mayapur. Other than him, many others are giving also. But we can take recordings of the Mayapur video, can take. And you can take that as final.
Can there be a...
no, that actually what happens,
source.
see, as we say, Sakale Nehamata Yoganishta Parantapa, Krishna says when such standard systems are made and imposed to multiple places, some dilution is likely to happen. Yeah. So then we go to the source. When you have doubt about some standard like this, you can go to the source and check.
So what is the documentation source for all this?
Oh, there is one Panjaratra Pradipa book is there. There are 2 bulky ball volumes.
No, not just about DT worship. Like any of these questions that we are discussing.
Yeah.
Is there a
actually, the GBC handbook is also there. It's available. I can send you PDF copy of that. I have that. We all refer to that. And also, I have another book called as Prabhupada Anuga, book with all the letters of Prabhupada, which he spoke in different connections. I regularly read that. Then, when you see Prabhupada letters and Prabhupada purports, Prabhupada conversations, all these things make things very, very clear. If somebody interprets Prabhupada, that is his own version. We should not take it very seriously. Yeah, see, give a Shastric example of a wrong speech that caused great harm to a good soul. Any example? That is, Shringi spoke sharp words by which the good soul Parikshit was cursed to die in. That's the example. First one. That means Shringi is a Brahman. But that is a degradation of Brahmana started from that point of time in Kali Yuga. Because a Brahmana should use his Vak Shakti to glorify the Lord, not to curse such a good soul like Parikshit. Give a Shastric example of one who lamented for his wrong behavior. Parikshit.
Or Indra.
Yeah. And give a Shastric example of one who worried about damage to community projects. Arjun says that. Which means these are responsible leaders. Because Arjun is not concerned about his own acquiring kingdom. He is concerned about community welfare projects. And Vishnu Maharaj also is not concerned about himself, concerned about the world. Similarly, we all can look back and think about our speech, our behavior, and even our thoughts. Imagine if some wrong thought passed in your mind, you should actually lament for that. Like, for example, Madhavendra Puri saw the Amritakeli 12 pots going to be offered to, Lord Gopinath. Correct, no? At that time, one thought came in his mind. I heard the glory of this Amritakeli. And if I can know the recipe of this, I can go back to Vrindavan and make the same for my Gopal deity also. So Gopal will enjoy this Amritakeli. Like that, a thought came in his mind. Next moment, he cursed himself. What he said? You know what he said? He said, when the bhoga is going to the Lord, one should never look at the bhoga. And one should never think about tasting the bhoga. Because bhoga has to be tasted to whom? To the Lord. I am trying to seek a little bit taste of this for cooking for my Lord. I counted a great aparad. So saying like this, he immediately wanted to leave the temple, and then he was lamenting on the way, thinking that I committed a big mistake. But then Gopinath took notice of that. Oh, my pure devotee Madhavendra Puri, you have a desire to taste this Amritakeli? Even though you thought of tasting it before it reached me, but I would like to feed you and help you taste it. So I will reserve one pot for you. So out of the 12 pots, Lord took one pot and kept it behind. And the Pujari just took the 11 pots. And then he went, later on Lord came in the Pujari's dream and said, hey, Pujari, get up quickly. Come and see one pot I have hidden for my pure devotee. Because he wanted to taste it. Madhavendra had to desire to taste. So Lord took notice of his taste. Took notice of his desire. And then the Pujari was astonished. So then the Lord came to be called as Kshir Chor Gopinath. Then he went to the marketplace and asked, is there anyone here named Madhavendra Puri? He has stolen a pot of kheer for you. And Madhavendra Puri loudly cried. He said, alas, I committed a mistake of wanting to taste it, but Lord has sent me, give me this. So, in this way, Madhavendra Puri not only tasted the Amritakeli, he broke that pot into pieces and tried it to his kids so that he was every day little bit eating that mud also. Every day. Because it's touched by the Lord and stolen, no? So, transcendental touch of the Lord is very special, so he was eating that also every day. Very amazing pastime. And very appropriate to speak now during this Chandrayandra time. This is the time. So, in this way, we should look back about our speeches. What kind of lecture I gave? How many of you feel sometimes you gave a lecture and then you became a little dissatisfied about your lecture, like when you became dissatisfied? Anytime you gave it. Correct? So you feel that I could have spoken little more direct Krishna consciousness, I was too indirect. Or I didn't speak the way Prabhupada very powerfully presented. I was baffling, or I was just, in the name of being good, goody, I didn't punch and then present the point in a punching manner, like that we feel sometimes. Anyway, we can keep on improving. It's ongoing, it's a project in progress. Keep on improving. Yes?
Prabhuji, two questions. One is when we try to repeat, generally we hear different kinds of lecture and we try to repeat them. But generally what you are saying, Prabhupada's point should be emphasized.
For that, you read the purports very carefully. Anything you read, I'll just show you. Just one example I'll show you. You like the underline, you see, no? Whenever I see them, I also read it. Like the underline, these are important points, Prabhupada is saying. So when you, like here you see. So when we do like this, then we know that what is Prabhupada emphasizing in these places. So if you put such a very, very important verse, like this I think. So Almost every verse you will see say underline something. So the underlining of Prabhupada purport, somebody went and told me, Radheshyam underlines in his Bhagavatam. Maharaj, we have heard that Bhagavatam is deity of the Lord. How can we do this? And then Maharaj called Radheshyam. Then I brought my Bhagavatam and showed him Maharaj. So he told the other devotees, Radheshyam underlining this Bhagavatam purport is like decorating deity with ornaments. He's highlighting and showing all the important things, very good. And then Maharaj told the devotee, you can also do that. So this kind of underlining, noting the important points, and later on, see if you put two lines, see, Aste Vishuddham Avikaram Akhanda Bodham. These three words are used about the Paramatma. God is supremely pure. He doesn't have a changing body like ours. And Akhanda Bodham, his knowledge is immeasurable. So I have underlined the words also. The sloka also we underline, purports also we underline. So in this way, say I have written some explanation also. So this kind of thing will help us to capture the vital points. Then we get to be. For example, Prabhupada says, what is renunciation? To cut off the tie of affection means, you know what Prabhupada says in Buddhimana section. To cut off the tie of all material attachments means to broaden the field of spiritual activities. Prabhupada says. Like, for example, Prabhupada cut off the tie of family attachment and went to Vrindavan. And he broadened his field of spiritual activities after that. Goswamis also did the same. So, these type of definitions that Prabhupada gives are very important for us. Like sense gratification and Krishna consciousness go yield together, Prabhupada says. This he said in Hawaii. He said this. Another place he says, the living entity is so made by the will of the Lord that he experiences the most happiness when he is putting himself in a state of absolute dependence. This he writes in the Vishnu section. So Prabhupada said, cram my purports, he said. So what is the name of cramming Prabhupada purports? Certain very good lines you can underline and memorize them as it is. And you can repeat it on it. So Prabhupada says this as it can repeat. Yeah.
One thing, sometimes in the teaching programs, people randomly join. They join for a couple of sessions and then leave. And they feel gratitude a lot, as you said, they love you and they listen to you and they follow you, but they don't continue. But as a part of gratitude, they start giving gifts, some small gifts, something, random things. And no matter how much we resist on these things, we try to say this is not required. The main thing is chanting and coming to the class regularly. These are the major goals. They push on this. Now, seeing their gratitude, and we are not able to sometimes deny that, but how to come out of those situations?
And what type of gifts they give and what type of gifts?
So probably to be specific.
The costly ones are
there. Smallest ones, like, and to my surprise, somebody even brought one ashtray one day. I was completely confused what to do. I went home.
Maybe they thought you can use agarbatti then.
In the whole night I couldn't sleep. In the morning I thought that in Lilananda Prabhupada will accept the toilet paper of someone, thinking that okay, how can I use for the Lord? But my question more than ashtray is that how do we cultivate and inspire people, even initial phases, that they do the right things and avoid these things? Is there a possibility?
Yeah. One thing is, one of the reasons why people bring gifts is we have observed in the last 2 decades in ISKCON, there is too much emphasis on love and care for the new people, which was not so much the case in the early days of ISKCON. This early days, the enlightenment knowledge was given solid emphasis. When a newcomer comes, people would be afraid to take them to Prabhupada sometimes. Prabhupada would clearly tell the truth. But at the same time, it's not that there is no love and care in the early days. Prasadam always they would give. Anybody comes to temple, they would encourage them. Even our Yamuna Mataji and Shamsundar Prabhu, they were very encouraging. It's true. Except nowadays what happens is many times we are showing extra compassion, care by phone calling and visiting their homes. Like in English, a right word would be to say pampering. We do a lot of pampering. And then and another big problem nowadays is we want to give them Krishna consciousness slowly. On one hand, pampering happens. On the other hand, the slow inputs are given. Due to this, what happens? They mistake your pampering to be simply like a kind of friendly love for which they want a reciprocate, and they don't think they need to become devotee for that. They say, you guys can do your devotion service, but I like you as a human being. That they want to connect with you in that way. So that type of thing happens. But the early days, the enlightenment was a very vital aspect. Like, yes, love and care is good. Like, this was the Bhakti Maharaj will come to IIT. You bring very good prasad and everything for us. You chant. But the program was like 3 hours program. Solid Bhagavad Gita, verse by verse. You would go elaborate and many question answers. You would chant one round. Almost 2 hours is a spiritual program. And then after the program is over, you talk to him, some love and care is there. He brought some Mahaprasad for you, he may give, things like that. He's like elder brother guiding us and things like that. But nowadays, people don't sit through for long hours. That's why I told Lilananda doing this Deva program is a miraculous thing. 5 to 8, correct now? Holding the people. And he will somehow hold the people telling inputting some nice jokes or something. He will hold the people, make them feel light, and for children he arranges something. So, emphasis, and we also have to come to grip with the fact that some people are going to be only donors. They will say, take my donation, don't disturb me. Some people may say like that. Donation you can take, but not my time. I can't give my time for the class. I can come for festival days, but don't call me every class. For them weekly is too much to commit. Because they don't want to go so fast in spiritual life. They are not sufficiently serious. Then you can make a donor list and put their name there so that you won't take tension in making them devotees. They are only fit to be donors. You tell them one thing, see, you are giving me small gifts, I would suggest you one thing. We have Radheshyam, we have the Bhagavatam distribution, we have 3-4 vital programs in a year where we will need solid donations. So you keep all these gifts with you. If you give for that, I would consider that to be the greatest affection you can tell them. Tell them, because at that time you need also, correct, no? For sponsoring Bhagavatams.
So, this was a long time ago. I'm quoting you in front of you. You had given me advice which really helped. Is sometimes people were coming with relationship problems to me. Sometimes they'll come with some job problems to me. Sometimes they'll say, should I go to the interview also? All those questions are coming. Then I discussed with you, told you give time if they are giving their time. Then I told, and that really helped me. I see that if that person is coming regularly to satsang, I'll also discuss real estate with it, no problem. But if he's not coming regularly, once in a while he's calling me and taking some advice about something, I stop giving time. I literally tell them that, no, Prabhu, I don't think I'm an expert in those areas, don't ask me. Something like it really helped.
Yeah. And also then they know that what I can expect and what I shouldn't expect. They will know it. Actually, many people like socializing in India very much. They want their children to connect with your children. Mataji will connect with Mataji, Prabhuji. They want friends. And Indian culture is like that. In my compound also, and my mother, there is some 15 houses to be there. So the ladies will come and talk, today what did you cook? Mom, I cooked this. How is your son? How is your daughter? People expect, but in ISKCON, we know that our time is limited. And we want to utilize our limited time for our sadhana also and for preaching. If somebody is ready to combine socializing along with becoming devotee, then it is worth it. Otherwise, we don't have time to simply socialize. And also people who come with serious problems like mental illnesses. My institution also said, we should tell them to approach a doctor nowadays. There are people who come with serious illnesses nowadays. So, if they are giving gifts, we should tell them, we should give donations. We are doing a very good service to pujaris. They are giving Bhagavatam sets. They can donate for that. Maybe you all can prepare one kind of brochure about your good activities that you are doing here, like prasad distribution and also Bhagavatam distribution and Rath celebration. A lot of money is involved there many times. Many people are spending from their pockets also, many of you. So you can tell them that Rath is coming, can you please help in sponsoring this? then they also understand that they have bigger festivals. And Chota Mota gifts will not do. Instead of it, give something solid. Right? And if they don't come for program, at least let them serve Krishna by donation. The pranay, arthay, diya, one lecture purpose says, pranay means giving your life, full time, completely, you have no other business. Like brahmacharis and some Vedas also give full time. And then purpose is arthay means wealth. Wealth is also like pran only for people. In Tamil, there is a saying, if you show a big bunch of currency notes, even a dead body will jump up. You know, dead body will wake up with this. For people also, it's like money is like pran. So, because then Prabhupada goes on to say that money is brought about how? By diya and vacha combined, he's saying. That means people use their intelligence how to make more and more money, correct or not? Yeah. So they have used their kasrat, effort plus intelligence. So then they will give money, that's the second thing. Either you give your life or give money. And if you cannot give money, then the third one is diya, at least give your intelligence for this moment. In plan making, strategy planning, organizing, and that you do at least. That also you can give, at least say some sweet word about Islam. Say, Vacha, at least you need to appreciate what you are doing. By that, new people may connect also. Don't criticize. Yeah. Certainly, it's a bit of a challenge to reach new people with pure presentation sometimes. But pure presentation can be combined with dramas, and also sweet pastimes from Mahabharata. Like I tell pastimes like how Kandaprastha Krishna made it into Indraprastha. Beautiful pastime. That means Krishna touches something, becomes very wonderful. Similarly, I tell another pastime from Mahabharata of the Nahusha becoming a snake for reincarnation. So people like to hear nice Puranic histories. So sometimes new people, if you tell such, and then you can bring them to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata from that. Instead of having to go to self-help, you can bring from Mahabharata, Ramayana. They have Mahabharata, Ramayana. Beauty is they are Shastri, they are authentic, and they also give many tools for self-help also. So it is a spiritual and self-help both combined together. Correct, no? Yeah. Please read this one. Being responsible leaders. Who has mind with you?
Although leaders can help others enormously, they can also hurt them more profoundly than anyone else. People give their leaders attention, love, and surrender. Successful God-centered leaders can provide their constituents with more care and guidance than almost anyone can. But when leaders, particularly those who claim to be dedicated to God, fail to put the Lord at the center of their activities, then not only do others experience pain, but they also lose faith in God. We should internalize this truth and constantly remember the importance of integrity as we fulfill our responsibilities. Many people are atheistic these days because of the extreme hypocrisy they have witnessed in so-called spiritual communities. They have lost interest in God and religion because many supposedly God-centered people are not genuine. These atheists may not have been strong enough to separate the corruption of the institution from the purity of the actual source. Leadership is necessary and welcome, but true leadership means attuning to higher blessings and then sharing these with others by all means available. Such a leader is a true servant leader, connected with divine power.
Yeah, this is a very important point. You see, if sometimes a leader, he makes himself the center, and not Krishna the center. Sometimes because of, what do you call it? It is called as a personality cult, we call it. Personality cult means there are many gurus nowadays, I don't want to mention the name, they are very famous in YouTube also, there are many people. They themselves are a figurehead, their personality, their thoughts, their name, in the Instagram if you find it. So most people are not attracted to what they are speaking, but they are attracted to the person himself. The way he smiles, the way he jokes, the way he shares things. People become followers of their personality, and But people don't spiritually advance. These gurus claim to be spiritual gurus. For name only. For namesake they are spiritual gurus, but they are simply pampering the people in the camp. At the most they may bring them to sattva or something. Some certain things they may speak. But many of the gurus nowadays don't tell the truth. Like one very famous guru was asked by a group of students, "Sir, you have spoken so much and you are popular all over the world. Everywhere people adore you so much. Can you tell us the essence of all the Vedic literature? What are we supposed to do as students? And how can we connect to spirituality and ultimate goal of life or something? If you can tell us succinctly, because we are attracted by you and we will follow you." You know what he said? He said, "See, the truth is very vast and oceanic and everybody has to realize it for oneself. My suggestion is you're all students, you just do your studies, that's all." That's what he said. I was thinking, imagine if Prabhupada was in that place. He would have immediately told them ABCD.
Yes.
And A for association, B for Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam, C for chanting, D for devotional diet, E for engaging in seva. And Prabhupada told them 4 regs. Gimme. And don't do gambling, illicit sex, meditating, intoxication. Prabhupada immediately spelled out. So crystal clear instruction Prabhupada gave us. So, in this way, that means the leaders who don't speak the truth are irresponsible leaders. Now, one thing is not speaking the truth. Worse still are those who are corrupt leaders who have, like the India saw there was one Baba who is put in jail now, for 20 years or something like that, because there was some misbehavior with the minor. Right now, yeah. There was another one very big fellow. You might have heard about Ram Rahim. Yeah. He had 40 people are ready to die for him. He had crores of people whom he could capture, sentimental people. What all corrupt things he did at the time. So then because of such fellows, even the genuine people who are wearing saffron when we are going in the train, some people criticize us. That's like imagine you went to a doctor who claimed to be a dentist, you didn't check whether he got his degree or not properly. You foolishly opened your mouth and you broke your tooth, front tooth. Yeah. And then you came crying home. Now you can't fix the tooth anymore now. Now you say all dentists are rascals and they are all bad, you may say that. See, he is not a dentist, he is a quack. Unfortunately, you got a quack. You without checking, you went and showed your mouth. So, if there is a quack, there is also a genuine doctor. If there is a nakli, there is also nakli. There is nakli currency, no? There is asli currency, no? So, there are fake sadhus, there are genuine sadhus also. But unfortunately, what happens, the fake religious people, they damage the faith of people in God and religion and scriptures by their wrong and erratic behavior. There are many erratic behaviors. One is misbehaving with opposite sex or misbehaving with the same sex also nowadays, like homo behavior or money laundering, taking huge amount of money from people and using it for personal purposes, like that. Or sometimes taking a land on one's name. Therefore, His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj recently, when he gave this declaration, you'll see that amazing declaration I will show you. Lastly he says, see what he says is, here he says, "I wish to state that all my endeavors as a devotee have been to serve Prabhupada and ISKCON, and I have nothing of my own except my
GTC.
Just see, he's a 50-year GTC, he has not kept his own account, he has not kept anything for himself. This is my only position." And so he has told the deities also which deity should be given to which temple in Delhi, he has told them. And I don't have anything else with me. And my only position is that there's one Rolex watch, which also he has told that give it to one Vedavyas Prabhu. That Vedavyas Prabhu, every month he gives 1 CR, 2 CR to his temples in Delhi. He gives. Sometimes 3 CRs also is given, 3 crores also is given for some of the months. He's a very rich personality. He's also I think he's Prabhupada disciple, but he works very closely with Maharaj in architectural things and all he works. So he's very, very dear to Maharaj, and Maharaj so that thought Shiva should be given to him. He has done so much service. He helped me serve Prabhupada so well. So then what he says, therefore read this.
Therefore, I further direct that my assets, including temples,
Any assets.
including the temples,
Yeah.
any assets, including temples, foundations, and or projects associated with, inspired or directed by me or my disciples, must for all time remain under the auspices and directions of the GBC, who are the ultimate management authority of managing authority of ISKCON.
See, not only he says, actually there are many, many temples inspired by Maharaj, started in different places. There was one plot of land in Vrindavan, near the temple, devotees got, they wanted to make a samadhi for him. And Maharaj wrote in the will that my disciple, Surdas Prabhu and his wife, they had decided to make a samadhi for me in that place, but I have refused to accept their request because I want to hand it over to ISKCON temple, Vrindavan. My samadhi should be in the Goshala, because I want to, my samadhi to be there with my god brothers. And there are 3 more, 4 more other god brothers. I want to stay there. So, he says that every inch of square inch should be utilized for ISKCON's purpose, not for myself. Already they are making samadhi for me here, why one more there? He didn't want that. And here he says, any such projects associated with are inspired or directed by me or my
Disciples.
disciples also. That means if some disciple is not aligning with ISKCON and GBC, they are not my disciples. That's what he is saying. Such a transparent personality, you can see that. He always has been like this. I observed him because he is in my GBC in Pune. I got to see him very closely for many, many years. So very good instructions he has given. So never leave ISKCON. First and foremost, think of yourself as a member of ISKCON. Never fight with ISKCON. So these are 10 instructions that he has given me as well.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I was hearing for the last 4 days, they are having offerings to Maharaj in the evenings. I almost heard all of them except yesterday. One amazing thing that one devotee told is the will that Gopal Krishna Maharaj wrote is like a template for the ISKCON to follow. He gave like a template of how a will should be. Like that. It was so amazing to hear.
It's very, and it is good that it happened because he is the senior most in India. He and his own Maharaj. By this, what happens? Everybody else will become aligned there. Somebody is going this way, that way. Very much. So here is an example of a responsible leader. Correct now? You can talk of irresponsible leaders and they're responsible leaders. A responsible leader doesn't want to take anything for himself. See, I will show you one interesting thing. See, Iranian president, his name is Ahmadinejad. Read this one heading.
Iranian President Ahmad Ahmadinejad
Donating his office carpets mosque. Yeah.
donating his office carpets to mosque, donating all the high-valued Iranian carpets to one of the mosques in Tehran by replacing them with the low-cost ordinary carpets.
For his office. And then,
Second one, ordinary room with wooden chairs. He observed that there was a huge extravagant lounge for receiving and welcoming the VIPs, and he ordered it to be closed and asked the protocol office to arrange for an ordinary room only with wooden chairs. 3. Cleaning with the municipality people. On many instances, he joins the cleaning staff at the municipality for cleaning the streets in the area where his home and the presidency are located.
this is the person. The name is Iranian president Ahmadinejad. And then,
4. Transparency. Under his authority, whenever he appoints any minister to his post, he gets a signed document from him with many points, particularly highlighting that he shall remain poor and that his personal and his relative accounts will be watched, and the day he leaves the ministry shall be with dignity, and therefore it is not lawful for him or his relatives to take any advantage of his.
not only he doesn't accept any advantage, he doesn't allow the ministers under him also. And the simplicity is living.
5. Simplicity living, in living. First of all, he declared himself for all the big wealth, and the property he owned was a Peugeot 504 car, model 1977. An old small house inherited from his father 40 years ago in one of the poorest zones in Tehran. His account with a zero balance, and the only money comes into his account was from his salary from the university as a lecturer with the amount of USD $250 only. For your information, the president still lives in that same house. This is all what he owns. The president of one of the world's important countries, strategically, economically, politically, and with regard to its oil and defense. He even doesn't take his personal salary in the argument that all the wealth belongs to the nation and he is safeguard over it. 6. Bag with the breakfast cooked by wife. He brings with him some sandwiches or bread prepared by his wife for breakfast. 7. Flying in economic class. One of the other things he changed was his personal carrier, the President aircraft, to a cargo aircraft in order to save the spending from public treasury. And he ordered that he will be flying with ordinary airline in the economy class. 8. No manager, any minister can barge in any time. He organizes meetings every now and then with all the ministers to know their activities and efficiency, and he closed down the office of the manager of the president, and any minister can enter into his office without any permission.
He doesn't need any PA, he can directly meet him.
9. Visits to other places. He also stopped the welcome ceremonies like the red carpet, the photo session, or any personal advertisement or respect of any kind while visiting any place in the country. 10. Sleeping on floor. Whenever he has to stay in any of the hotels, he asks them to make sure not to give him a room with any big bed because he doesn't like to sleep on beds, but he rather likes to sleep on floor on a simple mattress with a blanket. 11. No self-importance. During the prayer, he does not sit in the first row.
He just sits with everybody else. See, yeah? Amazing, no? Very amazing, no? See, why I am showing you this, we should be broad-minded to appreciate the good souls can be anywhere, in any religion. Also, good souls. Example of a very responsible leader. In Tamil Nadu, there was a Kamaraj, one politician. When he was so meager, very poor family he came from, but completely service oriented. His bank account was having 300 rupees when he died. That's all. You heard the story about Baba Rajendra Prasad? You heard about him? You heard the story, right? Somebody came to him for asking for a loan. He said, sorry, I don't have it. He said, but wife said that she can give. Then after the man went, Baba Rajendra asked his wife, how you could rent out loan? How you could give the money? She said, see, you are getting 600 rupees nowadays. In that 150 I saved. She said, from that only I gave. So immediately wrote to government and said, now I need only 450 now. Otherwise my wife is saving some 150 in that. So these fellows, what kind of personalities are this? They will not touch one penny of the government. They are completely sold out. So we can take inspiration from these responsible leaders. They are not after money, not after privileges. Actually, we should accept post. I don't have the poster right now. I have our Narendra Modi's one statement where he says that, many people may think I am in a privileged position of a prime minister, but I don't anytime feel like that. He said, I only see this post as an opportunity to serve the people. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything more to this post. I am also one of the citizens of India, and I am just getting an opportunity, like they say. So, the idea is, responsible leader means he is not after privileges, he is after service. And also, he is authentic in his character. He doesn't let down the followers, in women or children, or abusing money or resources and everything. So, all the more so in the spiritual line. Because in spiritual line, we demand the surrender of people, we demand the faith of people. So, we have to be very authentic also. So I have one another seminar, later we will do that, it's called Purity versus Hypocrisy. Yeah, that is, whole seminar is devoted to that. So hypocrisy can creep in varieties of ways. Our Radheshyam Prabhuji used to joke, you are selling, counselors should not accept costly gifts from people. Further he was telling, so one counselor was telling, मेरे बर्थडे आ रहा है, अभी 2-3 दिन में आ रहा है बर्थडे, मुझे मालूम है कि आप सब लोग मुझे कुछ देना चाहते हो। काउंसिल इज आस्क्ड, प्रभु हम लोग सोच रहे हैं आपको कुछ स्पेशल गिफ्ट देने के लिए, वैसे तो मेरे पास लैपटॉप नहीं है। ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा कि आप लोग को लैपटॉप देना, थोड़ा आप लोग इकट्ठे कर लो, मैं भी थोड़ा डालता हूँ। So you should tell that if you are a counselor, you should accept only a simple gift of a small greeting card, that 2 rupees greeting card. Somebody writes, Prabhuji Mataji, I am very grateful to you for the kind of training you gave me and whatever. So that is far superior to big costly gifts and should not accept. So he was telling that. So the idea is people have a tendency to give gifts to each other. And so one time I tell you, one of the students in Radheshyam Brahmachari took one big, frame of Radha Kunjaveri. And because the father Brahmachari, the boy was very dear. So he announced to everybody, today is his birthday, I have packed this gift nicely and brought, and he told the boy to open it, and then he showed it. So he clapped hands. Then what happened was, got not known to the Brahmachari. The other boy started thinking, for our birthday also he will come and give us similar type of big this thing. So next birthday came, one boy came and told the Brahmachari that, Prabhu, today is my birthday. He said, oh, is it? Happy birthday. Happy Krishnana's birthday. I said, I didn't do anything. So that boy wrote a mail to me and said, Prabhu, there is partiality in our center. One person is given a big gift. Then I called the Brahmachari and told him, see, when you officially do anything now, those things have to be very carefully done. On a personal level, for example, we wanted to raise the Brahmachari, give him a box of prasad or whatever. Maybe all it, but at the same time, if you are making it a public show, then everybody's expectation is increased by that. But in ISKCON, still there are certain things not properly understood by the congregations. Like birthday festival, how to celebrate. Like Brahmachari is what we generally do. We have 8 or 10 Brahmacharis who are born in a period of 2 to 3 months. We put them, we give them all one garland. Like this, and then we tell the devotees, 3 devotees who knows one particular Brahmachari, they will be allowed to glorify for 2 to 3 minutes each. And that should be very, very specific. It should be some pastime kind of thing. Some interaction they had. It should not be a general thing. He is good soul, he is Mahatma. It should not be a general thing. It should be a very specific interaction they had with him, where he exhibited quality of tolerance or patience or humility or sacrifice or anything like that. And those pastimes are so relishable. There is so much of applause and so much of laughter. So, like that, imagine if for one Brahmachari, 3 minutes they speak about 10 minutes. So 6 Brahmacharis sitting, how much time it takes? That's 1 hour. That's 10 minutes only. 1 hour the program is over. Then we do Hari Hara Nama Krishna Yadvaya Nama. Full song we sing. Because the song talks about Nandira Charan Sevi. What the Sane was, Janame Hoi, Jaya Vilash. So all the devotees dance. Then after that we give them 2 sweets we give them. So I'm giving a cake, 2 cakes. Small, square cake we are giving. One for them to eat and one for distributing to other friends. So earlier I used to give 1 and they would give away everything to others. They won't get anything. Then I gave them 2. I said, okay, keep 1 and share 1. They did that, and then they would give it to their friends. People who come to them, they would give them. So this type of festival we have been doing. But over the years, now I have become super busy. I'm traveling. Some of them are, when they know birthday festival, they will hide in the ashram somewhere because they don't like to be glorified. So that became very difficult to do. I used to tell them, if others are glorifying, it is for them to get inspired also. Because many times we don't know the glories of a devotee. And we glorify. So in this way, 5, 6 are jointly glorified. It doesn't become like a Vyas Puja for one devotee. Correct, no? Sometimes you put one fellow on the top and everybody glorifies it. You have many Vyasa Puja. So we do it collectively, we do, and it's shared so others cannot feel shy also. At the same time, on one hand, we all are shy to hear glorification, on the other hand, we are also curious to know what others are thinking of me. Correct? Huh? Are they satisfied with me? So there's a simultaneous feeling in devotees. Somebody may be having hesitation also. At the same time, when they hear the glorification, that makes them humble, and some of them will even cry. That's so much affection and respect they have for me, like that. So these things should be known how to do it. So one time I had gone to Jayadev's house on a Tuesday, and all the Matajis had made one big cake that day. Very cake was nice. And I gave the class. At the end of the class, they came and kept it in my friend. Matajis were all laughing, speaking and laughing. I asked, what is the matter? And then they told that, Radheshyam, you don't know today is your birthday. They said that because they found out the date, made the cake, they made for you, you want to cut a happy birthday cake. I said, nothing doing. In fact, I don't entertain anybody giving me any gifts on my birthday. Ramadaris earlier used to come, now nobody will come to my birthday. I don't entertain anyone giving anything. I cannot accept it because it will become like a Vyasa Puja. I am not a guru. You should do it for a special master. They said, no, we already made it. We discussed it together also, and we did it. Please accept this. I said, then I announced in the mic, is there any children having birthday in the coming 1 week? And 3 of them got up, Prabhuji. Now let us celebrate, I said. We called them and then they cut the cake and they had a very good time. So I said this example, why? Because otherwise it becomes a home, everybody will give that. But in terms of grihasthas, there is a lenience in terms of this type of festivals, because in socializing and community blessers is much different than in brahmacharis. So there naturally you can celebrate birthday festival with cake for everybody if you wish. But you have to take care that unhealthy comparisons don't come creating envy. Especially when the leader shows little extra appreciation and affection for one family, then the other families think that, we are not taken care. Because the problem in material world is unhealthy comparison. Like one time I was glorifying one brahmachari. Other brahmachari wrote a long letter saying, Prabhuji, I know very well for a long time you don't like me. I think you didn't find these good qualities in me. Today subtly you hinted that he has those good qualities and not me. I said, I never thought of you, Prabhuji, I told him. When I spoke his glories, I never thought anything bad about you. You are also wonderful. Then I had to take out time and write his 20 qualities. After that, he came back to me. Prabhuji, I never knew even my own good qualities. You found 20. It takes so much time. This unhealthy comparison causes inferiority complex. Now we have to end. That's Bhakti.
So Prabhuji, I'd like to share that in our group, we used to announce this happy birthday, happy Krishna conscious birthday. And because the group became like 250, 2-3 birthdays every day.
Yeah.
And there used to be like 200 people responding to every birthday. Then the WhatsApp message group used to become like 500 messages like every other day. In between, I used to write there is a program, so everybody gets that message. And only birthdays are going on. So then we decided that we'll close that group and create a group only for birthdays, anniversaries, and even departures. So separate group. So that separate group every day is like 600, 700 messages. But one good thing I'd like to share, Prabhuji, is one Mataji, her husband doesn't come to program. So, but she tells in the group that today is my husband's birthday. So can you all please pray for him? So then everybody starts writing. 99% people never even saw her husband also. But they write very good things, we pray for him. So one day she was telling me that this time he only came and asked, did you write in that group? Did he tell anything about me? Because nobody in the world praises him, only devotees praise him in that group. So the exchange of it is so nice, that you shared. So Hare Krishna. Let us thank Radheshyam Prabhuji 3 loud and enthusiastic. So tomorrow, congregation program, Prabhuji was supposed to come, but he is going to Pune for an important meeting. But I have not declared that in the group that Prabhuji is not coming, because I want to meet people who only come when Prabhuji comes. So let me see who all will come tomorrow. So it's a transcendental cheating, if you can say so. So Prabhuji will be next coming maybe during the Rath Yatra time. So because it's May now, June and July. So and in August again there is a SLATE program in August. So we will try to make sure that we attend this program. It's very, very important. I personally gain a lot. How many of you felt that you gained a lot in your preaching services? If you gained a lot, say loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol! Thank you, Prabhuji. But this forum, I really feel very difficult things are discussed. And many a times, we don't find a forum to discuss these things. And you bring up very sensitive points there, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thanks a lot for
Nevertheless, one very important thing I want to tell you, Lilananda. Actually, wherever I am doing SLATE, I have told them to make a list of the participants. In Pune, it is super organized. There is one devotee called Radheshyam Prabhuji. I connect you. It is registered, the names are put up, and every person name against it is a preacher or a manager or a counselor. No. They have to be in that type of leadership position, and they take attendance also. And in Pune, I give a lot of assignments. Here, I have not yet started. We give some assignments which is to be completed before the next meeting. It will come as we proceed. It will come like that. And the group is not expected to be very big also, because it's supposed to be preacher, managers, counselors essentially. That you will know who they are. In case anybody else came today, don't mind it. But in the future classes, we have just begun this topic. So as we proceed with the topic, I will request you to make a SLATE group which we will stick to. Yeah. And also in a year, if we will do 6 times only the SLATE program, then we will get adequate time to complete the topics to some degree. Because these are 6 seminars, each takes about 2 to 3 sittings. Which means 18 sittings we have to do. If we do 6, it finishes in how many years one course finishes? 3 years. It takes 3 years. The reason why this course takes so long is because it involves discussion. Today, like you all brought a very good point. Now I couldn't complete this part 1 also. The part 2 is also there. Next time I will do it. So this is something that demands the time of leaders, and I don't expect a very big group to come and give so much time. Even if there are 10, 12 people also, whoever is engaged in preaching, managing also, and they can teach these things to that people later. Understand? Sure. Sometimes what many preachers do, they think that this is a leadership session, very nice. So each of the preacher brings a few people from their group. They bring like that. Sometimes one preacher is bringing 4, 5, then others also bring. Then the number can be very big. Can be. Then when we say that we want to have more hours or more days, then many of them will raise eyebrows. They will not have time also. A smaller group will have time, and leaders taking our time is good for the entire community later. Right now. Sure. So before the next meet, I would request you to make that list.
Yes.
Yeah. And I will also put Radheshyam Prabhuji in touch with you.
Yes.
And I will add you to his SLATE WhatsApp group. You can also see.
That's what it is. Yes. Yeah.
And in your community, devotees are very wonderful. No, I have no reservation about devotees attending. But you have also kept another program 3 or 4 times a year I am coming, which is Sunday evening. That is open to all.
Yes, yes.
But the SLATE can be reserved for this type of work.
Yes, absolutely. Today we have devotees coming from Lilananda Prabhu's group also. So Prabhuji could not come because he had immediate program today evening. And he said he had to prepare, so he could not come. But he said he will take the recording. We have Gajendra Prabhu also here. So IIT Prabhuji also came. And Balgal Prabhu's group also some devotees came. Yeah, and so it's more 99% of all preachers.
And one important thing though, because these seminars are very vital seminars. Even if there are 6 people, 10 people, 12 people also. Actually, I am not a person who is very much for a very big crowd also. But I want to make sure that the vital people get it. And attendance should be almost paka. Each of them should get about 80% attendance. Yes, that is. And you can change my day also. Say, in case you say that some festival has come, so instead of Saturday, can you move it to some other big day? And then you have a calendar.
Yes.
But the most important concern would be the attendance.
Yes.
Because these topics are very vital. They are not the regular weekly program type of topics.
Yes.
This talks a lot about our, leadership position because one leader here can start one temple tomorrow. Like in Pune, this is the type of training I did for the brahmacharis also. If you see, there are almost 25 brahmacharis in India who are president or vice president's post. They're from Pune. But please spend time on these people and these type of seminars. Similarly, in this also those are coming. Many of them may expand reaching to other communities. That's the reason I'm very particular about. People may say, why is it so stringent about the audience? They may say, but that helps for the same audience to come regularly.
Yes.
It's a privileged program. What do you call it? Inviting program.
Only can I take more than 4 times in a year then?
No, you can find out when.
Yes.
Find out.
Actually, it's summer vacation going on, so some devotees went out on yatra with their friends. But I'll make sure that attendance is maintained and only the audience. Thank you. Let us thank the 3 Lord Haribol. So, Gaurav Prabhu. Yeah, so Prabhuji is going to drive. Thank you for that. So devotees, there is snack prasadam made for all the attendees here. Please accept that. Who is coordinating the prasadam? Yeah, Prasad Prabhu and Satyadev Prabhu is coordinating. Please take over. Hare Krishna. Stop this.
Always